The Border-Gavaskar Trophy kicking off with India winning by 295 runs in the first one at Perth against Australia, much down to that man, Jaiswal Bumrah. Of course, the Pakistanis think it's because of an illegal action, but I think, and we think, that it has a lot to do with Australians not being able to play him because he's simply just brilliant. Now, we've seen a lot of other great things in this test so far, and hopefully the series goes just the way it did in that first one. We wanted Australia to be a little bit unsure and possibly lose the series. We've been backing India just a little bit more than we do usually. And let's see what the boys made of that first one.
No, I loved it. I loved it. I told you that my hatred for Australia is a little bit deeper. And I just loved how their batting order just crumbled. And I love the hate that they're getting online and all the questions around them and Marnus and love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, look, Australia looked hopeless, to be honest. That batting lineup didn't know what was going on. Bumrah ripped through them both innings, and yeah, I don't see a way back for Australia in the series. I mean, going into it, we thought they were the favourites. They had a settled lineup, just young McSweeney coming in. He had a horrible first Test match, up against.
I'm going to
Bumrah.
hold you right there, Divi, just because you picked on McSweeney. A lot of talk about Uzi Khawaja having to take the first ball rather than McSweeney. And McSweeney said in his own interview that he before the test, that he'd go out and he wants to take strike immediately. I think Uzi should have protected him against Bumrah.
I think so. I think, look, you can rate yourself at grade cricket level and you can be the best player coming up through the ranks when you're in school and whatever age groups. But Test cricket is a different level. And I think that sort of overconfidence was his downfall. I mean, yeah, he probably survived a few overs or whatever it was, but just not good enough just yet. I think Uzi should have taken the first ball.
Yeah, for me on the batting front, nice to see Kohli give us 100 there. Felt a bit bad for Yashasvi in the first innings, but it was nice to see him bounce back. So, it was just a blip in performance. Nitish Kumar Reddy also didn't disappoint lower down the order, and I'm not a big fan of Spidey Pant, and he didn't do much. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we did well with our predictions from the first test, boys. All of us collectively. We said KL and we said Jaiswal to have good series. Divi said Hazelwood will bowl well, which he did. So I was very impressed with Jaiswal and the way he played. Even in the first innings, the ball that he got out to, I think, couldn't believe it. So he looked good. I think they actually make like the perfect combination. KL and Jaiswal. Like, you see, this is the partner that Jaiswal needs, not Rohit Sharma, because Rohit Sharma just puts pressure on him. KL Rahul just absorbed all of the pressure, and if you watch that innings from Jaiswal, he scored in accelerated bursts. He wasn't just gung-ho. When he was seeing the ball like a watermelon, he capitalized. When he needed to defend, he defended. And I just thought it was amazing to watch the two of them bat in that second innings. Because KL knew exactly what he needed to do for himself and for Jaiswal. And you look at like even things of taking a single off the last ball just to give themselves a break, because he knew because I know that there was a point where Jaiswal was getting peppered. I remember this. KL took the next over. He blocked 5 balls and took a single off the last. So I think Jaiswal didn't get a ball for like 2.5, 3 overs maybe. And those are the kind of things that needs to happen, because what can happen is Jaiswal can also have a rush of blood, say, oh, these guys are getting on top of me, and just play a rash shot. In Test match cricket, that partnership is very key. And it's been a very, very long time since I've watched two batsmen play off each other the way that they did in that second
100%. 100%. I think the other important thing there with both of them, and I think the thing they did very well is intent. They showed a lot of intent, unlike that Australian innings. When KL came out in the second innings, anything that was slightly loose, slightly too full, slightly too wide, punished. In the first innings, he was a bit more reserved, took his time. Second innings, he punished and then rotated well for Jaiswal to go in bursts, as you said. I think that, coming on to Australia, is why my prediction of Marnus doing well didn't go so well. 2 of 52, and he looked like he was there to not score runs. Like, for the life of me, I don't think I've seen someone look so much like he didn't want to be there. Like, Marnus, the no run thing and the no run joke, no run! he was minus no run for days. 2 of 52, he played like absolute crap. And he didn't look like he was going to get any better. So, yeah, back to the initial point. I started off by saying if Australia find a way in here, they're going to destroy India 4-1. I think that's impossible now, looking at that first test. That batting
But that's
lineup.
what we were saying, right? Marnus and Steve Smith are like the glue in this batting lineup. So when they play well or when they dictate terms, then everyone else can play around them. And if they collapse, then you get exactly what we saw.
What I would say is that even though Australia batted so shit, they were still arrogant. Remember how Stark spoke to Harshit Rana, "Oh, I bowl faster than you," and then boom.
Jaiswal gave him a little bit back in the second innings. He said, "You don't bowl fast enough." He climbed
Exactly.
him.
But that's the reason that I freaking hate this team, and why I was also happy Warner didn't get any IPL buyers. Fuck him.
Seeing this Australian batting lineup now, I mean, Travis Head, he batted well in the second innings. He did all right. But we expected him every time he counter-attacks. He does quite well. But yeah, Marnus was terrible. I mean, it just seemed like there was no plan to his innings. His innings was just to survive, and then hopefully runs will come. And when you're there for 52 balls, you need to play at least a few shots in anger. You can't just expect, get a few lucky outside edges and all of a sudden you're away. So it doesn't look good. I mean, Steve Smith in the first innings just kicked one for some reason. He just decided, no, I'm just going to kick this, and didn't look. Well, he only faced one ball in the first innings, but yeah, it's worrying for that Australian batting lineup. They need to sort out that opening batting spot. I don't think McSweeney is their answer just yet, and it's hard. He doesn't open the batting in domestic cricket either, so
exactly.
Just a makeshift player. They've got a good Sheffield Shield system, a good grade cricket system. Surely they could have found a proper opening batsman. And if a guy like Steve Smith was struggling at the top of the order, what are the chances of a young guy that hasn't opened the batting before do the job? So they've got a lot of questions on the team. I think the bowling lineup will also a lot of questions on the bowling lineup as well, not being able to take the 20 wickets. India batting long and deep. So there's a lot of questions around the whole side.
I give that bowling lineup a bit of a break because when you're forced to bowl for that long and then the batsmen do basically nothing to give you a break, you come back and then you have to bat as well.
They didn't bowl for that long. They bowled India in the first day. They didn't bowl that many overs.
And then they batted. And then their two opening bowlers did a lot of batting and came back and bowled again.
But good on Josh Hazelwood again. I mean, that second innings, come on, 21 overs for 28 runs in that carnage. Come on, he bowled well.
I think that's why he called out his mates in the presser. And he said you have to ask them if you have to ask the batsman if you want answers to how the series is going to go as a whole. Because I think the bowlers were, the scorecard shows it, the gameplay shows it, properly let down. I think if they bat for longer, try and use the pitch conditions a bit more. I said I think spin would be a factor, but the test just didn't go on long enough. The pitch did change a little bit over the course. They watered it well enough. And yeah, we played, 3 days of test cricket? That's never going to be enough to really let your spinners, like even Head, get into the game. So I think massive, it should be disheartening for that bowling lineup because they're all pretty good, right? Stark, Cummins and Hazelwood. And then Nathan Lyon to hold up an end. Pretty good. And they didn't look like they had a shout in. Now, talking about a bowler that we started off this whole chat with, Jaiswal Bumrah. Absolutely ridiculous. We've asked this question before, but I'll ask it again.
I don't know how he does it. I don't know.
Right,
there was a segment.
No, we said that already.
There was a segment that I can't remember which commentator was analyzing, and they were showing like the difference in release points between him and Siraj. He was like a good 20 centimeters in front. But how do you generate that much control when you're releasing the ball like freaking halfway down the pitch? It's freaking ridiculous, actually.
And it's apparently like from chat about what batsmen find difficulty. That's half of the story. He is not the quickest bowler on earth, but if he cranks it up to 140, because of the few milliseconds that you lose from where he releases the ball, it gets to you faster, and it feels like very late swing most of the time. Now the other thing is he kept the ball moving the entire time. That Kookaburra just didn't stop swinging. You got it to tail both ways, and I think the roughest thing
And
is,
you wouldn't even you wouldn't even classify him as a swing bowler. I remember when he first came on the scene, I'll be the first to put my hand up and say I laughed at him, bro. Like, he looked so weird, and his action was weird, and everything about him was weird. But
Yeah, and
10
he
years
also had that
how many
cagey thing in
bowlers
the
are we gonna
beginning.
have that? How many bowlers in 10 years' time are going to have this action? It's freaking ridiculous. He's a trendsetter.
No, and in the beginning, I also laughed because he had that thing where he would take wickets, but he'd also go for a lot of sixes. Like how Rabada is known for that as well. He takes wickets, but you can also hit him for sixes. So yeah, for me, Bumrah was like a hit and miss. And now, 5-10 years later, he's one of the biggest names in the industry.
He's definitely the best bowler in the world at the moment across all formats. I think going into this test series, we spoke about Hazelwood and we said, oh, well, we don't know if Bumrah is going to be a test bowler. We haven't seen him. We haven't seen him a lot or do a lot of damage in the test arena.
yes,
But he shut us up quickly, and I think we were also wondering about his captaincy. Well, when you bowl us
Yeah,
out
that too.
100 for 400 and then score 400, you're not going to really get tested in the captaincy. But he's definitely showed us up. He showed us what he can do in the test level, and it'll be difficult to take that captaincy off him in the next test. But that's just India's.
So I think that's the perfect point to segue to close up this India chat. Rohit Sharma is there training. We've just spoken about how KL's done really well at the top of the order. Bumrah's done really well at the back end, and all records, he's captained the side well enough, even though Kohli had a lot of input. Does Rohit come back into the side? He has to because he's the captain, but does he deserve to come back into the side?
You see, we all had our questions about Bumrah as captain. And the truth of the matter is that there are individuals in this life that thrive on that extra pressure that enhances their individual performance. Is he one of those? It's definitely too early to tell. But give him a few more goals as captain, and if it continues, then it's not a once-off. It's a pattern, and then maybe India has struck gold for the next 10 years.
I think it's too early to tell. I think you need to put Bumrah under pressure to really get your answer, because this Indian side is not just a captain, it has a leadership group. And we all know that KL, we all know that Kohli is going to be part of that decision-making process.
But I'm not saying what I'm alluding to, and the point I'm trying to make, is his individual performance, given that he has the added responsibility. Not the group collective as leadership. Because he'll always have that leadership around him. But him feeling, I'm the captain now, I need to lead from the front. No matter how good I've been, I need to be better. And I need to set the example. That's a scary prospect. Not his actual leadership capability. Get what I'm trying to get at?
No, I get you. And I'm saying probably the same thing differently. If I think of the great captains, even Rohit Sharma as an example, or MS Dhoni, they really made their names for themselves as captains when they came and did the unthinkable under pressure, or really made that clutch decision. So too early to judge Bumrah, but when he does something like that, and one of those memorable moments, come in at a clutch situation, like what he did at the World Cup, for example, against South Africa, right? Come in like that as a captain, maybe bowl himself out early. And wrap up the tail and not allow the game to go right to the 50th over, the 20th over. When he does something like that, then I'll say, okay, as an individual and as a captain under pressure, he's really put his hand up.
Come in. You said come in a lot there. Bumrah is a prime example of what Cummins has not been in recent times. His career looks like it has taken a little bit of a blip for the first time, looked not that great. But we'll talk more about the India-Australia tests in the next one when we are chatting about the Border-Gavaskar series again. Now, we're going to move on very quickly to FIFER. Today, we're going to do something interesting again. I've got 4 questions today. Each of you is going to get to pick your own question. I'll give you a little bit of a hint to what those questions are after we do the non-FIFER question. Australia's largest margin of victory by runs against India in the Border-Gavaskar Trophy came in a match that took place at Nagpur in 2004. I want to know, how many runs did they win by? So Divi is on top with 47%, Kumz with 44%, and Kumz with 40%, as you can see. So Divi will give us the first answer.
I would say 274 runs.
274 from Divi. Kuv then?
310 runs.
310 from Kuv. And Kumz?
350.
350 from Kumz. Your answer is 342 runs. Kumz is ever so close there, which leaves him ding up top to get the first pick. Kuv in second, and then Divi in third. Now, the questions for today come in 2 forms. You can either answer a batting question about the Border-Gavaskar Trophy or a bowling question, or you could answer a batting question about South Africa versus Sri Lanka or a bowling question about South Africa versus Sri Lanka. Both questions are based on the current venues of the series, so the current locations in Australia and in South Africa. You get a pick first then, Kumz.
Give me batting South Africa and Sri Lanka.
Cool. So batting South Africa and Sri Lanka. Let's go for that question. Can you name the top 5 batsmen with the most runs in tests between South Africa and Sri Lanka on South African soil? Now, I did not say South African or Sri Lankan batsmen. I said the top 5 batsmen.
Okay, Sana Jayasuriya.
That's the first one that you bounced.
Kumar Sangakkara.
Number 4, Ding, Kumar Sangakkara.
Mahela Jayawardene.
That's your second bouncer. Mahela is actually in number 9.
Jack Cullis.
Ding, number 3, Jock Cullis.
Hash.
Ashim Amla is number 10. That was your third bouncer. 2 right then. The first steal will go to Kuv.
Graham Smith.
It's not Graham Smith, and I don't have him in the first 15. Divi then?
I'll go Herschel Gibbs.
It's not Herschel Gibbs either. So 2 of their first one, no steals. The full list then. Number 5, Quinton de Kock with 520 runs. Number 4, Kumar Sangakkara with 572. Number 3, Jack Cullis with 576, also close. Number 2 then, Dean Elgar with 604. And in number 1, Faf du Plessis with 606.
Wow.
So as I said, you thought that this was going to be the easiest question. Definitely wasn't. Now move over to Kuv. What are you going to pick then, Kuv?
But it's
It's so hard.
Go for the other one. That one is probably more obvious. Go for it.
Yeah, the bowler one is hard, man. Okay, let's go with the batting.
Batting from Australia,
India
India?
batting.
Cool. That will be your question then. Pretty much the same thing, but this time in the other series. Name the top 5 batsmen with the most runs in tests between Australia and India on Australian soil.
Ricky Ponting.
Ding, number 1, Ricky Ponting.
Sachin Tendulkar.
Ding, number 2, Sachin Tendulkar.
Matty Hayden.
That's your first bouncer. Matthew Hayden is about number 12.
Okay, Virat Kohli.
Ding, number 3, Virat Kohli.
Steve Smith.
Steve Smith is number 6, also close. It's your second bouncer.
Virendra Sehwag.
It's not Viru. Viru is in number 9 or so. So that was your third bouncer. Kumz then with the first steal.
I'm going to go for Warner.
It is not David Warner. I have him down in about 18 or so. Divi then?
I'm going to go with Adam Gilchrist.
Not Gilly either. Gilly is somewhere down the list. I can't even see his name. The other two players came up very recently. And kick yourself. In number 5,
Yeah,
Rahul
right?
Dravid.
Oh, Shiza. Oh, Shiza.
With 1,143 runs. In number 4, VVS Lakshman with 1,236 runs. In number 3, as you said, Virat Kohli with 1,457 runs. Tendulkar in second with 1,809 runs. And Ricky Ponting up top with 1,893 runs at an average of 86.04 across 26 innings. Absolutely ridiculous. So, Kuvu 3 there. No steals yet again. Let's move on to Divi. What would you like? It's bowlers from South Africa and Sri Lanka or from India and Australia.
I'm going to go South Africa, Sri Lanka bowlers.
Cool. So your question then. Can you name the top 5 bowlers with the most wickets in tests between South Africa and Sri Lanka on South African soil?
Okay, we're going to go Dale Steyn.
Dale Steyn.
No way. No
Not
way.
in the top 5. He's number 7.
No way. When you start off like that, you may as well just give up.
Oh, shit. Okay. Tom Pollock.
Sean Pollock is number 5. Ding ding.
Nice.
Mackay and Team.
Mackay and Tini is number 4. Ding ding.
Let's go Vernon Philander.
Number 1. Ding ding. Vernon Philander. And there is hope for you yet.
All right. I've got one bouncer.
Yes, just one so far.
Let's go KG.
KG in number 3. Ding ding. 1 to go. Looking for number 2.
Number 2. Number 2. Oh, is it Dwan Olivier?
Not Dwan Olivier.
And then the other one I'd guess would be... Who's another bowler? Morne Moko.
I think you've lost the plot here, but that was your last answer. So looking for number 2. Steals then. Kumz first.
Oh God, no, I wasn't following. Alan Donald. Too far back.
Not Alan Donald. Move then.
Imran Tahir.
No, man.
Not Imran Tahir either. So no steals. Did someone miss the fact that there was Sri Lankan bowlers allowed too?
Yeah, but who would have got? Chaminda Vaz.
Murali, number 2.
Oh,
What is going on?
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
This is why I'm going to give you the full list, but I was surely, if anyone's watching this, you could see the confusion on my face. Somewhere along the line, everyone forgot the man who took the most test wickets. But anyway, number 5, Sean Pollock with 26 wickets. Number 4, Mackay and Tini with 26 as well. Number 3, Kagiso Rabada with 27. Number 2, Muttaya Muralidharan with 35 and Vern Philander up top with 36. So, boys.
That was so obvious. That was more obvious than like...
It was the
I
most...
just went down South Africa only in this one.
It was the most obvious thing ever. And that's why I said to you, have you lost the plot? Because I thought you misunderstood the question. Why would he not throw Murali in? Because you could forget every other Sri Lankan bowler in the history of their cricket. But you forgot.
It flew over all our heads.
No, but honestly, I thought Chaminda Vaz first. Then I went to Malinga and I was like, no, but Malinga is a white ball guy, right? So then I lost it. Then I was like, okay, now Banura Fernando is going to be one of those.
Really?
So that was that. I mean, everyone did fairly okay, but nothing changed today because, I mean, everyone's got a similar amount of points from their questions. The updated leaderboard, as you can already see on screen, is the way it is. And
but you nailed it on the South African bowlers.
Yeah, you nailed it, bro. 101.
Divi smacked 4 there. I thought you were gonna clock that.
On the Dale Steyn, I was like, oh, here we go.
Me too, and I was making fun of you. I was
prepping a line in my head, but it's not the way you start, but it's the way you finish. Because I thought, surely with 2 free bets here, he's going to go Murali 1. And then you go Dwan Olivier and Morne Moko. Broken dreams. Sorry, Sri Lankan cricket
Okay,
fans.
but what I would say, if you didn't say Morning Morkel, I was going to say Morning Morkel.
So that is 5 for the day. Now we're going to jump quickly across to have a quick chat, a very brief one, about our impressions of that IPL auction. So the IPL auction has taken place, a lot of interesting deals, and the most money spent on an Indian player, the highest purchase ever, 27 crore for Rishabh, pants off, pants on. We keep saying it. We don't know how that's happened, but it is what it is. Now, the boys all support different teams. I'm a Mumbai Indians fan. I have been for the entirety of the IPL. Kuv supports the Kings 11 Punjab. Kumz supports Sunrisers. And Divi supports Whistle Podu, Chennai Super Kings. So we're going to give you our impressions on what we think are the best signings for us and the best signings as a whole, plus tell you who we think is the most balanced squad out of the whole auction process.
Yeah, looking at the team at Chennai, I don't know what's going on there. I mean, it's not an exciting team. Looking at the squad, I mean, it doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. I mean, we basically like a retirement home now, I guess.
Yeah, Vijay Shankar, like Daro
Exactly.
got kicked out like 5 times. And
I know.
Got
I mean, even
Ashwin
our
back.
purchases. Yeah, we got Ashwin back, and I mean, even our purchases in the auction was weird. Like you said, Vijay Shankar and Ashwin, but yeah, not very confident going into the season. What will be excited to see Jadu and Ashwin back together, see what they can do. But the most exciting player, I think, for me this season will probably be Deepak Huda, I guess. I mean, he's struggling for names here in this team, but yeah, Deepak Huda is probably the one I would look forward to seeing the most. Yeah, that's my take on the Super Kings this season.
Divi, did you agree with the list of retained players?
You'll always retain Jadu, Gaikwad as well. Good players. I think Shivam has proved in the past that he's brilliant. I think MS is just going to be a constant in that Chennai Super Kings side. So, I mean, they're never going to let him go. I think if they let him go, I don't think he would have gone into the auction. He'll probably just retired. So that seems more of a nostalgic move. But yeah, like I said, it's not a team that I'll be too excited about this season.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, but Divi, what do you think about Shardul Thakur? Chennai didn't want him. No other team want him.
Yeah, I know he's gone. I think his career is. I don't know what happened. What he did. He probably slept with someone's wife. I don't know. Dude, he was a big fixture in that Indian side. They were like, oh, you know what? He can do something with a bat. He can do something with a ball. They bring him on to bowl. And all of a sudden, he takes wickets. He's not. I don't know what happened. He just fell off the face of the planet. He did something wrong. I'm sure. There's no way like you can lose confidence in a player so quickly. Like he's performed.
The age as well, though. Is he 33? If I'm not mistaken now.
No, but I was also a fan of.
Well, MS Dhoni's 50. He's still playing. What do you? And one thing we know about the Chennai Super Kings, they're not worried about age.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so that's Divi's
Retirement
sentiment.
home. Yeah, Divi said retirement home. It's very hyped.
That it's the Chennai super pensioners for this season. Nothing much is going to come off it, but we'll see. Have hope.
Not this season, for the next 3 seasons.
Well, they could sell and buy in the smaller auctions. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, so for me, the Sunrisers team looks banging, and it's been a while. Last season, we saw some glimpses of names that you weren't too sure about that came in and did well, and it was good to see them retain them. And I think the one good thing that Sunrisers have going for them now, in like the past 5 or 6 years, we suffered from not having enough good Indian talent. And we had to rely on, people like Markram and Klaassen. So now if you look at, the best probable 11, you've got from the Indian talent section, you've got Abhishek Sharma, who's made his name in Sunrisers and is playing really well now. You got Ishan Kishan that's come in, Nitish Reddy. So that's 3 good locks, which will also make the Indian side. And then from a bowling perspective, you've got Asha Patel, Rahul Shah, and Mohammad Shami. That again, I know not absolute locks, but Mohammad Shami is
up there.
Is good in exactly right. And then you've got Heinrich Klaassen and Travis Head to round out that batting. Not even going into the other guys like Pat Cummins, Adam Zampa and stuff. But the point I'm trying to make is, for the last 5 or 6 years, we relied on the internationals, and for the first time, I'm actually excited about the depth in the squad and the Indian talent that we have.
Yeah, you also got superstar Jada Vunadkat there as well. So, I mean, that'll be...
And we got a Malinga too. We bought a Malinga.
Ishan Malinga, yeah. And somehow Sachin Baby is still playing cricket, so he's also...
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, what is going on, dude? Why is that guy still around?
The interesting one for me was one that is not on a lot of radars, but I watched bits and pieces of the auction live. They went in very hard for Aniket Verma. Now, I don't know a lot about him, but there was a little bit of a tussle there for that kid, and I'm assuming that he will be up there.
So yeah, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that now we're investing in young talent. It's always nice to see.
Yeah, I agree. So Sunrise owner, beauty plus brains. She's done a good job this year. I think they've got it absolutely spot on. Now, Kuv, Punjab, and your own beauty, or should I say pretty, what do you think?
Yeah, boys. I think this is a season I jump ship.
There we go.
Are we jumping ship?
Well,
you're going to follow KL.
I am, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew it.
Okay.
I knew it.
let me motivate first. I've
you
expressed how much I hate Australia. And now 6 of the 8 overseas players in that team is Australian. I did start supporting Punjab because of KL Rahul. I did love him when I was a bit younger. Now that he's moved to Delhi, and now there's no Pant in Delhi, and there's no Warner in Delhi, I feel it's an okay time to jump ship to a team that has struggled in the past. So nobody can accuse me of jumping ship to a Man City or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, they finished last for like 2 years in a row.
But there's so much sadness
if you go
in your
down,
life, because you've gone from one struggling team to another team that's probably going to struggle as well.
No, but if you go down, let's quickly go to the Punjab team. And what I would say is
the Punjab team looks better than the Delhi team. I'm not trying to make you feel smug, but
no. But what I'm saying is
way better.
No, it is. But I just can't get on board with the Australian blood in that team.
I can kind of agree with you. I think Panther had a heavy influence.
Like 6 out of 8.
6 out of 8.
6 out of 8 of the overseas players are Australian. Come on.
And just to hold you there, the biggest thing for me is it's not 6 amazing players. It's 6 randos. So okay, Glenn Maxwell, fair enough, right? Marcus Stoinis, fair enough. But then they brought in Josh Inglis, who is okay. They've got Aaron Hardy, who is okay. Xavier Bartlett, who is barely okay. Yeah. What are we doing, Panza? Those 3 contracts with your mates. That's what I think.
What I would say with Punjab is their bowling lineup looks good. They've got Arshdeep there. They've got, I think they bought Yuzi.
Ferguson is amazing.
Because I didn't really know what their strategy was, having only retained 2 players. Obviously, they did buy Arshdeep back at quite a high price. But I'm not the biggest Shreyas Iyer fan. And then they splashed on him. He was the second most expensive player. I mean, I can get on board with the Janssen. It's just not a team that I could have wholeheartedly say I was going to be supporting through the season. I'd have went through the season thinking, they do well, they do well, they don't, they don't. And then I look, if you go up and have a look at the Delhi squad, I mean, there's players there that I can get on board with. I mean, my respect for Akshar Patel has grown over the years. You can see that he's the Delhi team has an important player. He's done amazing things in the IPL. KL Rahul, obviously, I'm probably one of his biggest fans. I would, if I could ship Stark out of the team, I would, but let's see. Fraser McGurk is a young Aussie. Maybe he's a different culture. I mean, maybe he brought up differently in the household now, so maybe he's not as arrogant.
Kuv has found a new team to just hate on. He did this with India for a while, and now the Aussies are really catching from Kuv, eh?
No. But see, I said this in the last video. I don't like both teams, but I hate the Australians more. So.
No, fair enough. I'm just going to pick on your Delhi side very quickly as well. I think this Delhi side has a very good squad as a whole. You're going to have to sit out one of Fraser McGurk, Faf du Plessis, or Harry Brook, which tells you there's
I
quite
think
a bit of depth.
Faf joins the leadership group, to be honest.
But that's perfect. That's perfect because he's a serial winner when it comes to this kind of thing. I think Faf offers them a lot with those young batsmen in Fraser McGurk and Harry Brook. A lot to offer. And even Tristan Stubbs, they're in at, he's not going to bat 3 years, surely. But yeah, Aksa Patel, KL Rahul, Kuldeep, Nutters as well. They've got some very good Indian homegrown talent that will, as we know, I've said this with Mumbai Indians in the past. When you start off with a very good Indian base, you're sort of halfway there because most teams struggle with the Indian players rather than the internationals. So I think
Who captains your side, Kuv?
I think they're
KL?
saying Aksha.
Aksha.
It's either Aksha or KL.
Wow.
It's one of the two.
I would have thought KL.
No, but it was Aksha. Well, they would talk about Aksha because he was one of the retained players. They didn't know who they were going to buy. And now it might be KL.
it could even be Faf. Captain from the sidelines.
Yeah, well, he might play.
Listen, I think.
Well.
Listen, I think.
Brook is here.
I think Faf is good enough to start the season. He's got IPL experience. If he doesn't do well, then you just sit him out. But I think he definitely should start.
Look, when you've spent that much on Mitchell Stark, he plays every game, right? Probably lock in the side. So Stark starts, and then you've got to choose
Stubbs
between
and Brook.
Stubbs
and Brook has to play.
and Fraser McGurk based on last season, absolutely cracking.
Yeah, last season, based on last yeah.
I think the one player we can be assured won't play.
I don't necessarily think Brook starts.
Yeah, maybe he does.
Me too.
He messed up in Sunrisers. Yeah, they tried him all over the show.
I think he plays a big part in the season, but I don't think he starts the first game.
Yeah, maybe Brook doesn't start. Yeah,
because
I could see that.
Faf's been playing T20 cricket all over the world, and he's been absolutely nailing it.
I'm probably talking up Brook on the back of his red ball. And
what I was surprised by, Faf only got picked up like towards the end of the auction. All the teams let him go in the first couple of rounds. So
yeah, because it's also 55.
Maybe it's a blessing. Yeah, but it is a blessing. I mean, the middle order looks. The middle order in terms of Indian contingent looks a bit weak. In terms of Abhishek Porel, I think Aksa bats a little higher up in the top 5 probably. But yeah, apart from that, apart from the choice in overseas players, I think the other 7 players pick for themselves. Unless there's a gem hidden in there that we don't know about. But listen, like I'm saying, this Delhi team is a team that I can see myself supporting through the season and being sad if they lose.
On my end, a bit interesting. I felt like Mumbai did something very different this season than they usually do. I'm happy with the Will Jack signing and that Tim David's gone the other way. I was absolutely frustrated watching him for the last couple of seasons. We know how big of a hitter he can be, but it's just never come off. He's usually scored runs for us in losing causes. Will Jacks offers us a bit with the ball in hand as well, and I think solid. Interested with the whole Santner move. He did well in the test series, but I don't think he's going to do great in the IPL. He could hold up an end, nice. We've got a very decent bowling attack otherwise. I think Reece Topley is really underrated. And I think bowling alongside Bolt and Bumrah, if they're going to use those two as the internationals alongside Will Jackson, maybe Ghazanfar, pretty solid because our Indian contingent is pretty strong. And I think we all know that. You've
also got Deepak Chahal with a new ball as lead fielder.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He can be absolutely cooking. And he comes in as, if I'm not mistaken, with the uncapped rule the way it is sitting right now, because he hasn't played in the last, I don't know how many years. He should be technically uncapped.
Wow.
He should be technically as well. So that'll be special. And then
Dhoni will be uncapped then for Chennai.
Yes, he is. Yes, Dhoni is definitely uncapped.
Wow.
I don't think Topley starts there.
I also don't think he starts because of Rickleton.
I think they play Rickleton.
Yeah, because of Rickleton.
Yeah, but the side looks banging, guys. This side is banging.
They might just go left field and start Lazard Williams.
No. So that is the one thing that I refuse. Lazard Williams, Kuv made a joke off camera with me because he's like, yeah, your boy signed Lazard Williams. Because I hate that he's a South African cricketer. I hate that he plays for the Proteas. And now he's come to my own as a child would say to my own Posey, why Lazard Williams? I don't think he's going to offer us any value whatsoever, other than the fact that we needed another international seamer late into the auction.
Fair.
The only thing I can hope for you guys is that everyone is off form. Because,
So
the side is crazy otherwise.
How I would line up in the general sense would be Rickleton to open with Rohit, very much like a Quinton and Rohit. I would drop Tilak into 3, Sky at 4.
Well, you've got the Tilak Sky problem, right?
Exactly.
Like you can, if you want a left-hander, you got it. If you want a right-hander, you got it.
Well, Jack's at 5. Then you get to choose where you want to bat Namandir. 1 up on Hardik Pandya or 1 below. And then the bowling pretty much selects itself. You can pick based on pitch conditions. Sorted. I think a pretty solid side, but interesting picks in terms of the Mumbai dynamic.
Off-air we were saying, if you followed the auction, Mumbai's strategy was to fill their starting 11 /12 first. They didn't give a shit about anything else, and they just topped up the side later.
That's exactly what happened with Lazard.
There was like an interview with one of the owners, and they openly said it. Like, we're happy with our 12, whatever comes after this.
Very, very solid. Now, we all sort of happy except Divi. He looks as depressed as... Yeah, I don't know. He looks like a Rohit Sharma fan currently. I want to know, on the whole, who do we think has the best side? You can give me 1, you can give me 2. For me personally, let me actually kick it off. For me personally, I think Gujarat Titans have a smashing side. I think they've got a lot of options there and a lot of power. Let's just quickly. They're bowlers. They've got Siraj, they've got Rabada, they've got Prasidh Krishna, Tewatia, Washington Sundar. There's enough options. And then Rashid Khan as a kicker. Shubman Gill, Joss Butler. Options. You
didn't even mention Gerald.
Gerald Kutsia, exactly. And then the Indian players that they have as backups in these situations. Sai Sudarshan is there. He's probably going to start. Sai Kishore. They've got Maipal Lomro. There's enough options. This side is ridiculous.
Nah, the batting looks light, man.
Yeah, I think they're middle order.
I think the only issue they have is Shafin Rutherford and Glenn Phillips. But I think they don't exactly need to rely on it too often.
That middle order, you are relying on Gill, Butler, and...
not the worst place to rely on. Not the worst place to rely on.
Bulk of runs. Like Divi is saying, that middle order looks weak, man. Tewatia is a 1 in 6 player.
I think Shafin Rutherford starts.
Then who's the middle?
On the grounds of how he played at the back end of last season, I think Shafin Rutherford starts, right? They probably go Shah Rukh Khan somewhere in there because uncapped, right?
Shah Rukh
Khan will probably play.
Apart from Rashid Khan, none of those bowlers can bat. So...
Washis can play, I suppose.
Gerald Kutsia, what do you mean none of those bowlers can bat?
Gerald Kutsia is going to bat 4th on the side, I'm telling you.
That's how bad the batting is.
That's how bad that batting is.
I don't think so. I think they've got enough. Yeah. They've got batsmen that have repeatedly scored runs in the IPL. All of a sudden, I think it's more unlikely that they fail than they succeed. But I think this is going to be a solid batting lineup.
One guy I was surprised with, not Gujarat Titans, KKR. This was Saru there, because I know he's Saru's boy. Venki, he went for a lot of money.
Yeah. I think they want him as captain, huh?
That would be daft.
Yeah, they want Venki as captain. The accountant. No, but KKR have that lovely problem of all-rounders. So, with them, you don't know on the day.
They have a lot of all-rounders.
Russell can open.
It looks like they're like a kumbaya side. They've only got like 21 players. That's all friends.
No, but now they have Quinny. Now they got Quinny and Gurbaz as well. 2 keepers, 2 starters, 2 openers.
In terms of the all-rounders, they've got Ramandeep.
Both look like they sat in the back of the class in school.
They got Rahman Powell, Moeen Ali, Narayan, Russell.
I don't know if Rahman Powell gets a shot.
I don't think he gets a shot either.
Funnily enough.
I don't think he plays.
Don't you think Rawani would captain the side?
No, I don't think Rahane gets a game either.
Will also not go in as uncapped, won't he?
Okay, maybe. Because Rinku is capped now.
Look,
so,
QDK, Rinku, Narayan starts. It depends on whether Narayan opens the batting or not. Middle order, I think you do actually play
They got
Rahane.
Rinku, they got Venki,
Venki.
they've got Gurbaz, they've got Russell.
Oh
You've
yeah, I'm
got-
missing Gurbaz. I'm missing Gurbaz. Rahmanullah Gurbaz probably. Then
You
what do
can
they
either
do
play
opening?
Gurbaz. You got Moin Ali in the side as well. There's too many. They're going to f it up by not finding the right combination in such a short tournament.
What do they do opening? Do we go Narayan and QDK? Or do we go Gurbaz, QDK? Or do you
Narayan
put
has to
Gurbaz,
open
Narayan?
batting.
Nah, he
Okay,
doesn't,
so-
man. He's a one in,
I
one
also
out
think
sort
so.
of player. He opens one season and bats 8 the next. Can't do both like
Yes.
consecutively.
Yes.
But Red, we can't complete this video without mentioning this podcast Golden Boy.
Yeah.
Sanju, where is he?
Yes,
Oh,
that
yes,
team
yes,
looks good.
yes,
It
yes,
actually
yes,
looks
yes,
good.
yes.
I was looking at that.
It's pretty solid. It's just, I don't know,
So
Drew
you've
Janelle
got
probably
Jaiswal.
starts.
You've got Jaiswal and Sanju to open, and I think that's a powerful opening combination
do.
because you've got a brain, and now we've seen a brain with power as well in Jaiswal. Parag been around, doing well recently. Nitish Rana, I don't really think much of him. Drew Jurel, nah. But you've got Hetmaya, Wanindu, and Jofra Archer now. Mahesh Tikshana, oof. Side looks good, guys. You got Faisal.
So
At the end of the day,
injuries, bruh.
I just think all of these sides look good on paper. Like even if you look at the RCB side, they look better than most of their previous seasons. It's just about how they gel together, starting 11. I think captaincy picks are key here. And then I think it's going to be a good season. I mean, we can make a case for all of these teams except Punjab. And then we take it from there.
No, I'll quickly make a case that RCB bought really poorly with the internationals. I think the worst of the bunch. Hazelwood and Salt are great. I think Livingston is also pretty good, but then the rest, interesting. Romario Shepherd hasn't fired. Lungi Ngidi is currently injured and can't play. Tim David, as I said earlier, he'll never fire when you need him, and Jacob Bethel is kind of a hit and hope.
Yeah, but the thing
No,
is with those kind of
well. I
things,
think Bethel's playing well. Bethel's
The
playing
thing is
well, and
with
I think
those-
they've got a problem there. with
IPL
David
experience,
I think
boys.
that
IPL
the
experience.
teams-
IPL experience.
I really believe like the teams that will struggle with their overseas players are the ones that have too many. Like with that group, we know 5 of them are the only ones in contention for
Yeah.
starting spots. Whereas you look at the other teams, you don't know who their overseas players are going to be. And whether you like it or not, irrespective of your Indian contingent, you've got to build your side around your overseas players. I mean, that's kind
And
of
that's
where
why I go
all.
back
I
to
don't
the Sunrise
agree.
team, right? Because they almost, who's going to play in that Sunrise.
I think so.
already, you look at the team, you know.
You think you don't, but come on. Let's say, okay, Mumbai
No,
Indians is
I'll
the
tell you.
exception.
Yes, that's why. Because Mumbai have always started with 6 at least very good Indian players. And that's exactly how they've stood out. Because we've always had misfiring foreign players.
Going back to the days of Gautam Gambhir, the teams with the best Indian players generally are the ones that do well. Your next talking point is your overseas players.
No, I can
That's
agree with
just what
that
it
part, yeah. We have a lot of there's a lot of sides that have built solely on the overseas players, and I think that's where they failed. As Kumz was saying, with the Sunrisers, they relied too heavily on that. They needed all the overseas players to fire. When Klaassen and Head didn't perform, crash, bang, doom, didn't work.
Yeah, but needing them to perform and knowing who they are two different topics.
No, I can agree with that part as well. If you've got a set 4 that are going to start most games, a little bit of stability in the side. We're saying the same thing from different ways because the fact that Mumbai have always had 6 or so that will always start from the Indians lets everyone around them know I'm only going to bat 3 or 4 today because that's the gap. I can't bat 1 to 9 like Sunil Narayan. And everyone has their plan and that's how they execute. But when it fails, it fails. Whatever then. So all this proved is that there's a lot of... it's going to be an interesting season in the IPL when that comes around, of course. We'll keep you covered when we get there. But This has been the cricket show. A bit different today, not a lot of games. If you still enjoyed it, drop us a like, hit the subscribe button. Let us know what you think about the auction and the Border-Gavaskar Trophy in the comments. Also, follow us on all the audio platforms. But until the next one, please take care and don't forget to pour shots.